Hello everybody, this is Primal Scotsman. I'm here with another video. Today I'm going to be educating on the war on cholesterol. So think to yourself, when you hear the words saturated fat and cholesterol, do you immediately think of something negative? Maybe a doctor told you that it causes heart disease, it gives you cancer, even like you learned it in school. Well, I'm here to challenge that. LDL versus HDL. So we should preface there is no types of cholesterol. There is no such thing as a good or bad cholesterol. There are simply different transporters, and LDL and HDL are transporters. There's low density lipoproteins and high density lipoproteins. They both have extremely essential functions in the human body. And what is cholesterol? It is a wax like substance, or a molecule, I should say, that is produced naturally in your body. It's found in every single cell of your body. It is not a toxin, and if you didn't have it in your body, life would cease to exist. And so it brings us to the question, is it good or bad? Well, what does it do? It builds your cell membranes. If you look at the cell membrane structure, it is built from cholesterol, as well as things like vitamin D synthesis. Vitamin D is a sterol, cholecalciferol, um, as well as like building blocks of hormones. If you look at the word structure of cholesterol, you can find the exact same word structure in things like testosterone and estrogen. Cholesterol, testosterone, and estrogen. So obviously, cholesterol plays a huge part in our hormones. Things like even like serotonin, dopamine, as well as your brain structure. Your brain is made about 80% cholesterol, and it also helps produce bile acid. And this is extremely foundational to our biology. As we can see here, the body regulates cholesterol. The liver manufactures cholesterol, and it's a tight regulation. When you consume high amounts of cholesterol, your liver naturally lowers its production of cholesterol because it has bioavailable and abundant amounts of cholesterol. When you don't eat cholesterol, your liver naturally produces more because it has very essential needs of cholesterol. So, why would we alter this with things like statins? Well, let's look at epidemiology. Here we see ice cream sales are extremely associated with sunburn cases. Many studies try to associate LDL with heart disease. But I can't stress this enough that association and causation are not equal. There can be way out of way out of the park things associated with something very highly, but it has nothing to do with it in reality. This shows the limitation of epidemiology, and this is why when we debate things like this, the people on the contradictory side always have to assert that is linked, it is associated with heart disease. Here we have the pyramid of the hierarchy of scientific evidence. At the very top is randomized control trials and meta analysis. And this is very clear, and it shows that different evidence carries different weight. And at the very bottom, we have expert opinion, such as your doctor or your teacher telling you that LDL causes heart disease. And this necessitates that cholesterol has a full evaluation, not just a small picture. LDL and atherosclerosis. Research says that LDL is involved in arterial plaque formation, but its presence doesn't mean it's the cause of the disease. LDL enters the arterial wall to heal damaged or inflamed regions. And this shows that LDL is involved, but the environment is going to matter most, as demonstrated in these next slides. Oxidation and inflammation. When LDL particles oxidize, immune cells respond. Macrophages ingest modified LDL, which forms plaque. It's like a foam like substance. Inflammation and stress upregulate this. So, why do we think it's just the cholesterol when it's actually what is the environment that the cholesterol is responding to? And let's look at the context metabolically. Here we can see on the diagram that there's two different arteries, the exact same LDL flowing through it, but different context. In people who smoke, who are obese, have stressful lifestyles, especially when they eat lots of linoleic acid, polyunsaturated fats, and even monounsaturated fats, it causes extreme inflammation in the body, simply because this is not what we're meant to eat. Things like insulin resistance, glycolysis, and chronic inflammation also damage the arterial walls. They are the fire, and LDL is the fire truck, and cholesterol is the fireman. Cholesterol is riding the fire truck, which is LDL, to go put out the fire, which is chronic glycolysis, chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, oxidative stress. This just proves that there's no single molecule that explains the entire disease. And this is why I'm educating about this, because it's so dangerous to just isolate a single particle in the human body that it's naturally produced. And if you think about it, why would the body produce something to kill itself? It makes absolutely no sense, and there's no logic behind it. And why is this relevant? If we oversimplify health, we will indefinitely misunderstand it. Cholesterol produces our hormones. It gives us our life and our vitality. This is our adapted steroid. It's essential for survival. You can't live without it. And what is the verdict? Cholesterol is not the villain, and we must understand this particle rather than fear it. It is involved, but is not the cause. Just like a fireman is involved with putting out a fire, it is not the arsonist. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. And I'll just share my personal story really quickly. If you're struggling with your weight, you're struggling with your health, your mental health, I'm here to help. I got up to about 280 pounds, maybe more. I was eating processed junk every day, seed oils, sugar, fast food, sugary drinks, you name it, candy. My life was miserable. I thought I had ADHD. I thought my life was over. I thought this is just how I was going to be predestined to be. I didn't know any better. About a year ago now, I started the carnivore diet, and this vastly improved my health. I lost nearly 90 pounds. I am the healthiest and happiest I've ever been, simply by removing certain things going into my mouth. And I could not fathom this before. But now that I'm in this space, in this part of my life where I know what's good for the human body, I want to share it with anybody that's watching. I don't want your money. I have a lot stored in my brain that I just want to pour out. So if you're struggling with your health, please feel free to reach out. Feel free to look for help, because I'm not trying to profit off of you. I'll let YouTube do that. I want you to feel as happy as I do, because every day I wake up in heaven, in paradise, and I love it. I feel naturally high all the time, and I want to distribute this to everybody else. So thank you so much for watching. Peace.